The tires screamed once, then faded. I stood in the middle of a dead road, dust crawling up my shins, my bag cutting into my palm. My son didn't look back. He never did when he thought he'd won. "This is where you get off," he'd said, voice flat, efficient. "The house and the business are mine now." No phone, no money, no witnesses. That's when I realized something he never understood. I wasn't alone. I was free. I didn't scream. I didn't chase the car. I watched it shrink into heat and silence, and I let myself breathe. The funeral dirt was still under my nails. My husband had been buried 3 days earlier. My son waited exactly 72 hours to bury me, too. I raised him. That's the sharpest blade in this story. Once he was small enough to fall asleep on my chest while I balanced invoices on my knees. His father built the business with vision. I kept it alive with discipline. I learned contracts before bedtime stories. I learned silence before forgiveness. I taught my son numbers. I taught him patience. I never taught him mercy. The shift didn't happen overnight. It never does. It starts with tone, with entitlement disguised as concern. "You should rest, Mom. You've been through a lot." He started showing up unannounced at the office, sitting in my chair, signing nothing but touching everything. I noticed the accounts first, small transfers, clean, rounded numbers, practice theft. Then the lawyer stopped returning my calls. Grief sharpens the mind if you let it. I let it. I smiled at my son. I nodded. I played the widow who didn't know how strong the walls still were. I stopped confronting. I started collecting. Screenshots, bank logs, board emails forwarded to a private address he didn't know existed. I reread my husband's old files, the ones everyone assumed I'd forgotten. There was a clause buried in the partnership agreement, mine. I'd insisted on it years ago, when my son was still calling me Mama. A contingency, control transfer upon demonstrable incompetence or ethical breach. I didn't rush. Revenge is not loud, it's precise. I let him think the house was his, let him throw my clothes into boxes like they were leftovers, let him parade his confidence in front of staff who still called me ma'am when he wasn't looking. I signed nothing. I recorded everything. The night before he drove me out, I slept better than I had in weeks. On that road, when the dust finally settled, I walked. 2 miles, a farmhouse, a borrowed phone, 1 call. "Proceed," I said. By the time my son poured himself a celebratory drink that night, the accounts were frozen. By morning, the board had received a packet so clean it felt surgical. By noon, the lawyer remembered my name. By evening, the locks on the office no longer recognized him. I didn't confront him right away. I wanted him confused. Fear grows better in silence. When he finally found me, it was at the office, my office. I was sitting in my chair again, bag on the desk, dust still on my shoes. He laughed, nervous. "This is a misunderstanding." I slid the folder across the desk. No speeches, no tears, just evidence. His smile died in increments. "You planned this," he said, voice breaking where arrogance used to live. I looked at him then, really looked. "No," I said, "you did. I just finished it." The board vote was unanimous. Fraud has a way of clarifying loyalties. The business stayed, the house reverted. The trust he'd tried to access locked itself tighter. He lost more than money. He lost the myth that he was untouchable. Later, alone, I allowed myself one moment of grief. Not for him, for the boy he used to be. I folded it carefully and put it away. Justice isn't rage, it's balance. Now, when I drive that road again, and I do sometimes, I slow down. I remember the dust, the silence, the moment I stopped being a victim and became an author of outcomes. My son thought abandonment was the end of me. It was the beginning. I don't carry a phone everywhere now. I don't need to. I own my time again. I walk lighter. I sign fewer things. I sleep without fear. Betrayal taught him power. It taught me clarity. And clarity, once earned, is irreversible.